Good afternoon to all of you. Thank you for the invitation to Fichner and for the organization of this seminar. It is very important for us. I will begin by talking about CAP, those of you that don't know CAP that well. Then we will go into the hydrogen group information. CAP is a Chilean company. Today, we are only in Chile with projects to go global. MCAP and Mitsubishi are the major investors, and we are in the different regions of the world. In the north of Chile, with operations in Copiapó, in Huasco, Elqui. We're listed in the stock market also, and we're also in Guarén. It's quite an extensive national relevant steel infrastructure. We're in various areas. We have 4 business units. Iron with CMT, which produces 5 million tons a year. We're the main players in high-quality iron production in the world. Then there's Huachipato. Then we have Siderurgia, and we have mining, iron mining ore, and it produces 700,000 steel production. And there's Sintac, given the participation it has in the construction at a domestic level. Is that an earthquake? Yes, it is. It's an earthquake. It's a soft one. We're in -3. Can we continue? I will continue. It'll be fine. After this short interruption we just had, this is infrastructure that groups ports, water, and transmission. So we have 4 business units at CAP, steel. We will now refer to the steel industry that is highly contaminated, and we're very clear about that. Huachipato was the beginning of CAP 70 years ago. It's a heavy metals industry, and we are very aware of its carbon use. And how do we become a less emission or lower emission producing company? I would like to say that Huachipato has been specialized to high-quality mining in Chile and Peru. So it competes with China with very flat steel. So the Chilean industry has to become differentiated in this area because of this motive. In that which relates to Huachipato, as you can see, is highly contaminant in the steel industry. 1 ton of steel produced, we contaminate 2.2 tons of CO2. It's a very relevant aspect, and it is a high percentage of the emissions of our group. Being fully aware of this is what is the next stage. We want to produce green steel. That's the next stage for us. And this is this area that requires innovation. It will require technology that's already underway and being developed, and gather efforts of public, private, and the scholar world to improve this. We are a sustainable development company. Our strategy aims at decarbonizing our industry. So from that standpoint, this is a priority to go towards producing green steel. So we want to tell you a little bit about how this industry is already showing positive development in green steel production and also steel with different initiatives, green hydrogen use, implemented technologies, and we're not an exception. As you can see, Huachipato is reporting on a digitalization with artificial intelligence, with Simese Group. We are associated with them to produce green steel for a pilot plant in Huachipato. So we are being very relevant, active players in the process of change, and we're all participating in it. The roadmap to attain green steel is not easy and it's not cheap. We realize that it's possible to optimize the environment, incorporating mills and furnaces with different technologies by automizing blasts, we are involved in SMS Group. They are major players in the industry for the solutions for mining and other industries. They have an engineering company that's called Paul Gould, and it's deeply involved in innovation and generating solutions for our industry. So our path is we are generating intermediate solutions. We do realize this is a long-term process, and we know that it's green hydrogen is very important, and it's there are other technologies that can support us on the way. There's an aspect that's very important, which is the cost of energy. So we hope that we can recover or use green hydrogen, but always seeking a cost-effective energy process. Here you can see an image of green tax. In some countries, it's already being implemented on carbon production. Chile is not the only country. Although it's valid and they're very different in what's being applied today or what's expected to be applied, it's important that we understand the competitiveness of our products. And there is a balance of green taxes that are applied in Chile versus taxes that are applied to products that come from other countries at different rates. And we have to see a project to see if we do our things correctly. We don't want to penalize our system beyond our own path. The roadmap that we have, it began in 2021 towards the production of green steelmaking. We are in the stage of implementation, which is the pilot plant, which is Siderurgia Huachipato. We're in the process of implementing mineral management. Our objective is to reach 2025 with an H2V pilot plant where we have had some funds from Corfo, and we're also applying to some subsidies from the German government. And by 2027, we expect to have a startup. And by 2027, 2029, we have 2030, beyond that, an industrial scale of H2V. It is important to understand the business model that if we're going to have a green steel, and by 2027 we have to understand what our market is and what is the price of this new steel. So that is the roadmap. It's very ambitious. We're going very fast. We could accelerate this a little bit more in order to reach the clean green steel production by 2027. Here you can see an agreement with Acero, this company, in an agreement with an SMS German company, as I said, developing a pilot program with a neutralizer, with an electrolyzer. And now we're thinking of a 17.5 Siemens, which would generate 1,400 tons per year. and then a direct development with the SMS company, which would be to produce HIV. The two pilot plants would go to industrial production, which would mean an electrolyzer that would be a volume of 300 HBI, sorry, which would be incorporated into the final product. So what are our main challenges? We believe that this project needs to be competitive to produce green hydrogen, to reduce or create green steel, which has to do with the cost of energy. How much is it going to cost? What are the main equipments that are going to be used, which are the electrolyzers? We are in the high level of our curve right now for electrolyzers, and the cost of energy is certainly an issue at a world level. So to ensure competitiveness, it's important that we incorporate into our mind thought these two aspects. And it's important to understand the reduction of steel and replace carbon with hydrogen. And how do we do this reduction process, replacing it with hydrogen? Both Huachipato and other players worldwide are looking at their own projects. We did not want to stay behind, and we want to be extremely active in this process. And one of the most important aspects is the business model and how much our customers, current and in the future, expecting to pay for green steel, which is fundamental to promote this project. And what are the public policies going to look like that will allow us to develop this green industry here and for other countries? And we have to make sure we're in line with public policies. That's our presentation. We have a green innovator project with a decarbonization today, which is key for the CAP team.